Hey, if you've been listening to me on Business Unusual, you've been hearing me brag a long time about Klaviyo, the e-commerce marketing platform that's helping build so many small businesses. Well, today you're in for a treat. Today we have two owners, hugely successful, who are attributing a good portion of their sales and a large portion of their growth to Klaviyo. I'm asking them pointed questions about what they spend, what they get, and so you want to lean in and listen to this. We're hearing from Pamela Booker, who's the founder of Coils by Nature. Wait till you hear her story. And Susan Peterson, who of course started Freshly Picked. Both hugely successful businesswomen who are using the Klaviyo platform to drive their business and build it unbelievably quickly. So listen in. We're in for a treat today. We're both going to be learning a lot together. So welcome, Pamela. I'm so happy you're giving us the time and going to share your thoughts with the entrepreneurs listening about how you grew your business and what's been working for you. I know you started your company Coils by Nature 11 years ago. That's not even a young business. That's a fully mature business and obviously a successful one because most businesses go out of business like within a year and a half. But I know Coils by Nature makes hair products from very clean ingredients for all hair types and textures. You also have the number one male grooming product, I believe, in the nation, which is remarkable. Okay, but where did you find the courage in the first place to go into business? Was it that you had an awakening that you had a hot thing on your hands, or how did you just like dive in? Because that's where most people get stuck, I find.
So the crazy thing is, I'm a former computer engineer. I work for the federal government, and I never thought I would be an entrepreneur in the business. In the beauty space. I thought I would be like contracting or something with the federal government. But I went natural, like no relaxers in my hair. And then I was on the search for products that had clean ingredients. That's what they're calling it now. So great ingredients. And I found them, but they were very expensive. So I was like, you know what? I think there's an easier way to do this. And I worked at the International Trade Commission, and that's where they go and see how they can increase trade with other countries in the U.S. Oh. And one of the people that went out, his name was Mike. He was from Schenectady, New York. And he came back with this slab of shea butter. And he was telling me about the village it was made in and all the uses for it and everything. And I was like, wow. And then he told me about a distributor in the United States.
Wow. It's almost like he gave you the pieces, like God was speaking.
Absolutely. So like I said, I never thought I would be in the beauty space, but like shea butter fell right into my lap. So I started doing research and about, natural hair care products, what's needed for people with kinky, curly, textured hair, clean ingredients, and Coils by Nature was born, but my job actually pushed me. That's what gave me the courage. I did not like my job. I did not like it. Mm-hmm. So that pushed me into this.
We run into, I'd say 2 out of 3 would-be entrepreneurs who hate their job, don't get any satisfaction out of it, or even progressing in a job they don't like. But I find that it's very, very hard for people to jump off the cliff, let the security of that go, the income of it go, and to really have a belief that they could make a go of it on their own, no matter what the business. So what was it, the dislike of your job that said, what the heck? Or how did you just take that leap?
So as I was looking for products, there wasn't many on the market. Right. So I saw that there was a space for me in this market.
Smarty.
And yes. And I really, because I could have gotten another job. Mm-hmm. The computer engineering world is not that big in DC. So I could have gotten another job, but I did not want to do that anymore. I did not want to do the same thing that I've been doing for almost 10 years. And being a woman in a male dominant field and being a Black woman, it's like you get the same things. Like we get treated a certain way, like when I walk into a meeting, they're like, oh, are you the admin? Could you get me coffee? And I'm like, no. Oh,
I'm
no, this
sorry
is
to
my
laugh.
meeting.
I'm sure it's not funny when you're there.
I know, right? So I wanted to do something different. So knowing that there was a space that I could really be in, and I did not like my job, I was like, I got to try something different.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for you. I know, I don't think I've ever met an entrepreneur who was chased by a big box store to sell their product. And I understand that Target came at you 3 times. It wasn't until the third offer that you decided to sell your product. That would be an
Yes.
opportunity that any entrepreneur out there would salivate for. Like, my God, how could that happen? Why did you refuse them the first 2 times? And then what made you say, yeah, this makes sense for me, where you went into the Target stores the third time?
We weren't ready. We
Mm,
were not ready. When Target reached out to us, we were literally in the basement of my home in Maryland. We
wow.
were producing out of our basement.
Mm,
So knowing the stories and the volumes, because I spoke to other people that were in the space,
uh-huh.
I knew that we wouldn't have been able to handle that. And I did not want to go into a big retailer like Target and fail miserably,
Mm,
right? So when they reached out again to us, we were not in our home anymore, but I had a set of fear. I had a fear of success. I didn't think that I deserved to be in a retail spot like Target at
wow.
that time. Yeah. So
Hard to, hard to believe now. Mm,
I had to work on some things, um, mentally, knowing that I deserved to have this.
mhm.
And then when they reached out to us again, we had, a nice size facility. We had employees. We were ready. And then we have already done a distro deal before, a distribution deal that was like, a $50,000 purchase order. So that was like our first huge purchase order. And we knew we could handle
Mm,
something like Target.
yes.
So we wanted to go into this situation right
Mm.
and ready.
Pamela, that's a great example of being the head of a firm and using your judgment accurately as to when you should go, when you should stay. And I think that's something that a lot of people who head smaller and medium and large firms often lose sight of. When you were running your firm, doing so well with the business, why did you conclude that you needed help from Klaviyo? What made you think they could help me, and this is specifically what I want? And why did you choose specifically them?
I chose Klaviyo because Klaviyo has a way of communicating with the customers that I've never ever seen before.
Mhm.
And Coils by nature, we started off as a brand that was vending at shows and people got to know who I am, but you
Mm,
can't reach everybody in the United States, right? So
right.
I wanted to have that same type of feel when the customer contacts Coils by nature in any way. I
Mm,
want them to feel a certain way. And Klaviyo made that possible. They made the customer journey amazing and gave the customer a different type of experience. Like, the responses that I get from emails that I set up, flows that I set up 2 years ago, people are like, wow, I didn't know this about this ingredient. Thank you. And your family is beautiful. Like, I'm so proud of what you're doing.
wow.
Thank you for your service, because I tell them I'm a veteran. So Klaviyo is able to do that without me sitting to a keyboard. I'm like, let me type out this email. You just set up flows and you get to just talk to your customers in a totally different way.
But I'm curious about the detail of that, if I might ask. How do they accomplish your personality on a computer, vastly different than meeting you in person, like we have the privilege of right now? How do they capture that and convey that so your customer feels like they're interacting with you?
Klaviyo has flows, and with flows, you can talk to your customers with a chain of emails,
Mm,
right? So one of our most popular series is the welcome flow,
mm,
and that introduces the customer to our company, who we are, who we serve, and why do we serve you. Now they get everything from who we are, they meet our children. The next email, they get our core values, our company core values.
wow.
The next email, they'll get like what our favorite products and ingredients are. the next email they'll get is talking about our what stores we're in and customer reviews. So it's like a flow of emails that they get, and it's trickled out over time. So they're not just seeing us when it's springtime sale, when it's Black Friday, when, just selling to them. We let them get to know us. And then when it's time for us to make an offer, because we don't sell to our customers, when it's time for us to make an offer, they're like, yes, So, and our welcome series is our most profitable series, and we're not even quote unquote selling anything in there. We're just selling ourselves and telling them about our family and who we are.
I don't think I've ever had anyone so articulately teach me exactly what those pieces are and why they're instrumental to growing your business. You must have shopped the market, I would think, and compare to the services. Why did you choose them? Are they all alike? That kind of a service that builds your platform?
The ease of it. We were on another platform. It didn't talk to the customers. Like, we would have to spend a lot of time to build what takes us a fraction of the time with Klaviyo. And then the fact that Klaviyo integrates directly with our e-commerce system, Shopify Plus, you pull all the customer data. So you know what they've seen on your site, what they've ordered, and you can talk to them in a different way. Like, literally customers will open an email and was like, Pam, and they think it's me, and it's so cute. I love it. They're like, Pam, I didn't even know that you knew that I liked this. And I'm like, yes, but it's all Klaviyo because of the data feeds that they have and the way they're able to track what the customer views on your site. It's just phenomenal. So they were the easiest to implement. And then the amount of data that Klaviyo has is just phenomenal on your customers.
But you feel that actual data helps you target your specific, more likely customer when you reach out?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's like, it's like shooting at a target, but you're missing every time. Like when you have the proper data, you hit it every single time with Klaviyo. You're not missing the mark. So I'm not going to market to my beard products to women who want leave-in conditioner. Like, they're going to be like, Pam, why are you emailing me this? I'm going to make sure that I market to the men or the women. Like, you can do it like that. The women who have purchased the products for their loved one. And then you can talk to them in that manner. Like, hey, we know you purchased this for a special man in your life. Do you think they would like the beard vitamins too? So we're able to talk to them in that way, and Klaviyo provides that.
Pam, do you mind if I ask you what your total annual sales are right now, and what percentage of your sales or your income do you spend on Klaviyo?
Right now, we are at the annual sales. We hit 5 million last year.
Son of a gun. Good for you.
32%, around 30 to 32% is Klaviyo.
Okay. You mean 32% of your sales are driven by Klaviyo, or you spend 32% of your annual sales?
No, we spend a fraction. We spend about.
Don't laugh.
I'm not going to.
I know. You know what I think? I don't think you're being charged enough, because I could tell you look like you're getting a great deal.
That's what I want to tell you. Like, I don't want to tell you, because what we spend on Klaviyo every year. Let me see. Let me get a good number for you.
Must be small if you can't remember it.
It is not. It is not a lot. I can tell you. We spend about $6,000 to $7,000 on Klaviyo.
You gotta be kidding.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to insist they triple your bills immediately, because you're way too happy for that amount of money, and you're getting way too much out of it for that amount of money.
I know. Yeah. So,
and I'm even going to bill you for the suggestion that they bill you more. There we go. We're sending you tons of bills. Yeah.
Yes. So Klaviyo has done it, and at least 30% of our revenue comes from Klaviyo.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like, people really think email marketing is dead until they're introduced to Klaviyo. Like, just the way you can talk to your already warm audience. Like, they already gave you their email, right? Mm-hmm. So it's your job to start to build a relationship with them, and not just call them when you need them, right? That's how I see this email marketing thing. Like if I give you my number or I give you my email, I expect for us to have a conversation and build a relationship, not to just let me know when you're having a sale or when you need me to help you move, or like, don't be that type of friend. So with Klaviyo, you can be the type of friend that you're building a relationship with. And then now when you need something, they'll be more than willing to give it to you. Or that's why we said we make an offer to our customers.
Wow. Okay. Is there any specific event or sale that stunned you that you could share with us, saying, hey, that wouldn't have happened if not? Anything like that that you were surprised by? You don't sound like a woman who's surprised very often.
Listen, oh man. So we used to rely heavily on Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're expensive, by the way. Were you spending?
They are. Mm-hmm. And our Facebook ads got turned off and disabled right before Black Friday.
What?
Right before Black Friday. Election, like we got caught up in a sweep of all of these accounts being disabled, all of the stuff from 2020.
Damaging.
And we were devastated, but we relied on our email marketing. So we relied on Klaviyo. We were still able to hit the numbers, but we were really relying on Facebook. But what gave us comfort, and the thing that really matters, because people say it all the time, like, you don't own anything on Facebook. You know, Facebook could go away tomorrow, really? But you own these email addresses. And that showed up for us during the Black Friday holiday weekend. So we were able to market to our customers, email to them, talk to them. And it was already emails that we were scheduling. We kind of like doubled up on some, but the fact that we did not have Facebook and we still had Klaviyo, that was major. And it taught me, like, yes, that is true. Like, we don't own Facebook, Instagram, or these other platforms, but we absolutely do own our email addresses.
Yeah. So I guess the important difference there then is that you're in control of it, whereas the other platforms, you don't have the control.
Absolutely.
Well, Pam, thank you so much, really. First of all, congratulations so much on the enormous success of your business, deserving every speck of it, right? And thank you for sharing the Coils by Nature story. I wish you continued success.
Thank you so much.
I think you need my good wishes. Obviously, you're fine on your own, you know.
No, yes, I do. Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
It's an honor, really. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now here's Susan Peterson from Freshly Picked. Hey, Susan, it's so nice of you to give me your time today. I have a lot of juicy questions I can't wait to ask you. On first blush, you're kind of like the typical American dream for an entrepreneur in America today. But when you look a little bit closer, you've been a lot smarter than a lot of people who start out. So let me start out with the American dream. You started your business in 2009, I believe, right? Okay. At your kitchen table. It's not what everybody envisions, okay? But where did you get your idea from? I mean, you're sitting at your kitchen table. Obviously, you're not serving moccasins for breakfast. What made you, hey, I have an idea.
When my son was born, I just wanted soft sole baby shoes for him, and I couldn't find them. And so
There must be a million to choose from, no?
Okay, there was a lot, but they had bears or basketballs or something kind of, you know, kitschy on it. And I wanted simple, plain, elevated baby moccasins for him. I couldn't find it.
And why is it moccasins? Because I would have thought that like moccasin is like almost out of our vocabulary as Americans. Like, what made you think moccasins is what I want to put on my...
I want to hear something really funny. I grew up thinking that my grandma was American Indian until we got our 23andMe test, and we found out she was not.
Oh, wow. My gosh, was she surprised?
I don't know. She's passed away, so we can't ask her.
Maybe just as well. You don't have to tell her.
It might have been a family secret. You know how sometimes. So I grew up wearing moccasins. My siblings did. My cousins did. So we thought that's what I wanted for him. Yeah.
So have you told your son that he's American Indian because of the moccasins?
No, we used to, but now we all laugh about it at family parties, how we're not.
Very funny. Okay. When you first started out, as so many people do, you sold your product on Etsy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How long was it before you realized, and what triggered that you said, I got to go be on Etsy and have my own website?
So when Etsy first introduced analytics, I realized that I was sending all of the traffic to my Etsy shop. Etsy wasn't sending me any of the traffic. So I decided at that time to make the leap off of Etsy.
Why did that bother you? Because I think many people are aware of that, but they don't leave Etsy.
Well, it just didn't seem, it felt like I was giving Etsy this huge, like people were coming to see me, but were they staying on my store, or were they then going and looking at other stores? And I didn't feel like, I felt like I was doing all the work and I didn't know if I was getting all the reward.
And you didn't like sharing their eyeballs with other people on Etsy. You felt you wanted to have better control. That was the main motivation.
Better control, yeah.
I have to tell you, very few people new in business even have that thought. You had the thought and you also immediately acted on it. Good for you. You know, most people just don't bother to do that. They're afraid to leave. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? You didn't have any fear about that at all? Like you might be taking the wrong turn?
Yeah, I was totally scared. But I think that's in business, you really need to make big jumps like that, even if they're scary, and then look for indicators, small indicators that you've done the right thing. I remember the day we set up our website, I was sick to my stomach. I don't think I slept the night before, but then I got sales within the first hour. So I felt like, okay, that was the right decision. And even if it hadn't have been the right decision, I would have worked to make it work. I mean, the secret in business is just don't give up.
Of course. So, well, that's half of it.
Half of it.
There's a lot more detail involved, I'm sure, as you well know. I want to take you back just briefly to Shark Tank. What was it, 8 years ago? I think about 8 years ago, when you thought you had Damon John as your partner. I know the deal didn't work out. In hindsight, you left the set with 100% control of your business. Was that disappointing to you at the time, or did you think, thank God, I still have my business? And was the notoriety of Shark Tank at all useful without having made the deal?
So yes to all of it, no to all of it. I was, I loved Damon. I think going into it, he felt like my dream shark. Well, you weren't there, Barbara. Obviously, you would have been my dream shark.
Oh, come on.
But Damon's awesome. And what he's done with FUBU from streetwear perspective is amazing. And so I felt like, soft goods, direct to consumer, Damon's a really good match. So of course I was a little disappointed when we didn't close the deal. Love Damon, wish him nothing but the best. But 3 years ago I brought on investors, and that was the best deal for me.
Of course.
They're
Great
amazing
time too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Shark Tank is awesome. I have 2 friends right now who are actually talking to Shark Tank producers and possibly going to go on, and there's no experience like it. It is putting your business on steroids in the most beautiful, amazing way. I credit Shark Tank to a lot of my success, honestly. Yeah.
It gave you instant notoriety and drove sales, as we all call the Shark Tank effect. Did that actually happen right on the heels of your appearance?
Yes. As soon as it aired, it was immediate. And I live in a small town in Utah, so people started really paying attention too. So it was amazing. Of course.
You became a celebrity overnight, right?
Yeah. I mean, and then a little too big for my britches. And then, my family tempered me back down. So I'm good.
I have a husband that every time I have a little bit of a fat head, he sees it coming. He doesn't say a word. He just comes up to me and starts squeezing my head. I go, okay, I get it. I'm bragging or something like that, keeps me very much in line. When you started your business, did you initially have a view of your business as an e-commerce business, or did that come later as you learned the ropes?
I mean, I started out as e-commerce. I would say wholesale came secondary to e-commerce for me. I kept it 100% e-commerce actually until I went on Shark Tank. And then that's when I started with wholesale, was after Shark Tank.
Most people who start out with e-commerce business on Shark Tank generally come in expressing a dream to sell to stores, the big box stores, blah, 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 blah. For the great majority of those people, it's not a good move, but the majority of them do that. You weren't tempted to do that yourself?
Well, no, I did. And then, Kevin, Mr. Wonderful, who just...
Don't call him Mr. Wonderful around me.
He actually dissuaded me. He said, no, you shouldn't do that. But to date, our business is still 70% e-commerce, 30% big box stores. So I feel like we actually have like a pretty good mix.
You've always been quite savvy anticipating which direction you should take your business. And for a lot of people, they really don't seek out outside help when they're doing so well with social media on your own. And you were doing terrific work in social media on your own. What made you think you needed to go to an outside source? And in particular, why did you call my friends at Klaviyo? And in what way could they help you that you were seeing at that point in time?
That's a great question. Here's the thing. Platforms come and go. And so you always have to be on top of stuff. You always have to be looking for the next thing and willing to don't get too entrenched in what you're doing. Something that really excited us about Klaviyo was their flows and how we could segment our audience and control the audiences into smaller audiences that are more powerful.
So it's more targeted marketing?
Yes, ma'am, more targeted.
And why was that important to you in your business?
Well, we have a pretty short life cycle. We have about 3 years with moms. They come in when the
children outgrow the shoes. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Yeah, and it's expensive. And so it does cost a lot actually to get a new customer.
Yes.
And we almost have to be, we're not like BMW or Jaguar where we're targeting 5-year-olds and hoping they buy a Jaguar or BMW when they turn 30. But we are targeting women who are just married and thinking about starting families. And specifically right when they get pregnant is when we really like to start.
I would think that key spot would be everything that you target at the right moment to the right audience. It's really very specific, but how do they do that for you? How does the Klaviyo platform actually deliver that audience to you?
So something that we love is one of the flows that we set up is our welcome series through Klaviyo. Mm-hmm. So people come to the site, they can put in we have a pop-up, of course, that they put in their email for. And we've been able to convert, last month we were up 100% up year over year for our new customers. And for the last 12 months.
I'm sorry, did you say in acquiring new customers up 100%?
Mm-hmm, off of our email.
Because of that targeted marketing through Klaviyo?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, because of our welcome series that we were able to create with them.
Do they do anything for you so far as retaining your customers, hanging on to them? Do you have a contact system through them that you're constantly in touch, and how do you not overwhelm a customer who's interested?
That's a good question. So we use Klaviyo kind of as a CRM. We're pretty scrappy business. We're not using big CRM. So we use Klaviyo as a CRM, and we're able to take data. Okay, so did they buy a diaper bag or a moccasin first? And put those into 2 different categories.
I see. Makes sense.
How many kids do they have? We'll take as much data from someone as they'll give us, and then we can segment them down and down and down.
Well, how does a small company, not that yours is a tiny new business, but it's still considered a small company, how does a small company afford that kind of reach?
Well, it's through Klaviyo. It's because we're able to segment the audience so narrowly. We can just set up these segments and these flows and continue to reach and promote and reach our customers and through Klaviyo. Yeah, they're great.
So is your sense, Susan, that you're not paying for waste? In other words, you're not aiming in one direction that you're not going to get out of anything anyway. So you're really feeling like you're not wasting your hard-earned dollars?
No, we're not wasting. I mean, and you feel that sometimes when you're advertising, specifically when you're trying to find new customers. It is it's dam control.
Oh my God, yes.
Let's get this river going over here to this one little spot. And so that's why we love Klaviyo, because if someone comes to our website, hey, what's Freshly Picked about? Their friend tells them they just got pregnant, go check out Freshly Picked. They put in their email, then we're able to walk them through a welcome series. Hey, this is what our company is. This is who our founder is. This is what we're selling. This is how we support women. In a way that you can't do with advertising dollars. You just honestly can't do it. So we really get to our customers through Klaviyo.
And you don't ever feel you're hitting them over the head. It's just adequately done where it's the right amount of pressure or
We're dating them, Barbara.
What a great way of saying that, right?
Yeah.
On Shark Tank, I noted that many of the people that come in are not social media savvy. You seem to be a duck in water on that. You're very comfortable and versed in it as you're speaking. But what about the person who isn't savvy, doesn't know where to start spending those media dollars? Can they use an outside source like Klaviyo to figure that out? Or is your own expertise what's necessary on that side of the partnership?
Yeah, I think you kind of need to look at it 2 ways. First of all, there's so many growth operations out there that say, hey, let us run your social media. Yes and no. I think you need to, where's your audience hanging out? For me, I can remember distinctly, I was sitting in a room with my friend. She had a new baby. She was breastfeeding, and she was doing this one finger scroll on Instagram.
Yes.
And at the time, Instagram was the only social media that allowed you to do one finger scroll. And I thought, moms are going to hang out on Instagram, because how many times?
Wow.
Yeah. How many times do you have two hands as a mom?
Mm.
Never. Right? I put all my eggs in the Instagram bucket. Now, Instagram's not what it was 10 years ago when I started on there, you know? But there's, you can do LinkedIn, you could do TikTok, you could do Facebook's having another comeback, Twitter, where your customers are hanging out, that's where you need to be. So once you kind of establish a base, then I think there are really, like, Klaviyo is an amazing company with really, really powerful tools that you can use all of them or a little bit of them, and the price just can't be beat. But you do need to establish an organic base first.
Can I ask you, what percentage of your budget do you use for that kind of promotion through Klaviyo? Is it a substantial portion, or did you start out small and enlarge it, or what?
12% of our revenue is spent on advertising in general. So
you must be very confident.
Yeah, well, there are tools that can allow you to get super targeted, and then you have the data that is immediate. So you're getting this feedback and you can tell if something works pretty quickly. You know, you're not overspending on something that might not work.
Okay. Other than your acumen for social media and where to turn to get help and build your business, can I ask you personally, what do you think is your major trait that has driven your success? It's a narrow question, not really fair, of course.
You know what it is? I just think I'm creative and I'm scrappy and I'm really just not afraid to fail. And so, you know, I've been down in the dumps. I've felt like the cards are stacked against me many times. And I said at the beginning, you just get up and you keep working at it. Most people are successful because they just get up the next day and try to figure out and solve the problem.
And what do you tell yourself on those times, which is part of building every business? We all know that. But the parts that you just really take a hard hit, which are guaranteed, to get yourself back up. Is it that you expect success when you jump up, or what makes that happen?
My grandma used to say it all the time. She would say, beginners are many, but finishers are few.
Wow.
Stick to the task until it sticks to you. Yeah. And so I have great plans for the success of Freshly Picked. I know where it's going and where I want it to go. I know, you know, what I want to do next, although never ask an entrepreneur what they want to do next. It's like asking a pregnant woman when she's going to have another baby. It's a terrible question.
That's so true.
But I have plans for myself and my family and the company, and I can see that vision, and you just kind of got to get low and locked into it and run after it.
I don't doubt a word you're saying. You walk the talk, or you wouldn't have had the tremendous success that you continue to have with your phenomenal business, Freshly Picked. And Susan, I can't thank you for being so direct and honest with us here today. Really, people are going to want to learn from you, no doubt. I'm learning myself very much so. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Really, thank you.
Thanks for having me.